Hi DVC fan, Paul and Amy here, and we are at Disney Springs. It is a beautiful Saturday, and we are going to check out both the new DVC, what do you call it? Is it a preview center or?
I'll call it a preview center for now. There's supposed to be a lounge component coming to it, but right now they're just trying to sell you DVC.
Well, we're going to check it out. Just the first floor had opened there, and we're also going to have a brunch at the newer summer house. It'll be our first time there, so we'll take you along and see what we get into today.
As always, this and all of our content here on DVC Fan is brought to you by the world of DVC. DVC Resale Market, if you're looking to buy or sell a Disney Vacation Club contract. Monera Financial, who can help you with financing that DVC resale contract purchase. And the DVC Rental Store, where you can try before you buy, rent some points, or rent out your own points.
Very pretty in here. It reminds me of Nectar a little bit. Got that chic kind of vibe going on. I love all the leaves and the outdoor overlooking the lake is so pretty out in the back. A couple of things. First of all, if you're looking for a reservation here, we booked on an open table. There was nothing on My Disney Experience, so you had to book on an open table. And when we looked a few days ago, the only thing available during the brunch hour, brunch is Saturday and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The only thing available is like 9 something in the morning, which is pretty early. We had to leave pretty early in the morning. But I looked yesterday and I found a 10:30. Then we got stuck in traffic today and thought we were gonna not make the 10:30. So Paul kept looking and he ended up finding a noon, open up eventually, and then we got here at about 10:35 and we thought, oh, we could have made it and we're hungry, and I ended up finding a 10:45. So open table, and if you don't find what you want, keep looking because it might open up for you. When I went to the restroom, the hostess who was showing me where it was said that this room is usually closed off for private parties, so they don't usually have it open very often, so it's cool we get to sit in here. Very big restaurant, lots of outdoor space, lots of indoor space. I got the rosé. It was $14. It's got rosé, Aperol, whipped strawberry. It looks very good. It's kind of overflowing in this tall glass, but it's very good. Very, very refreshing. Kind of sweet, but I like that.
I didn't get anything too overly excited for drinks, although I feel like I've got a lot of drinks at the moment. So I ended up, got water, came to the table first, and then I got a Modelo. But I absolutely love this giant mug of coffee. It does say Summer House on the front of it. You'll see it in the video that I put over top of this. But like, when I ask for coffee, I don't want like the dinky cup of coffee that you have to refill 25 times. Like, I want like a full giant cup of coffee. I will drink it cold, so I don't care if it gets cold, but just bring me like a gallon of coffee and I will be happy. So I'm definitely happy.
We're right here where the food is coming out of the kitchen. Those cinnamon rolls are ridiculous. I hope Paul can get a shot of one walking by. They're as big as my head. They have to be like 3,000 calories a piece. So, but a lot of this food coming out looks so good. Trying to determine if the giant crystals are salt or sugar. And it kind of stuck to the pan a little bit. This is also very hot. So this is the jalapeno cornbread, and it comes with a side of some sort of honey butter. So I'm gonna try it out. It looks really good.
So let's talk cornbread for a minute. If you're anything like Amy and I, your general association with cornbread is a box of Jiffy cornbread that you make with maybe chili or something on the side. It doesn't necessarily have a lot of flavor, and it's relatively dry. This cornbread, completely the opposite direction of that. Cornbread itself, super moist. You've got chunks of corn in there, peppers, that would probably be the jalapeno. Not really getting any spice from the jalapeno though, so the cornbread paired with the honey butter is also just absolutely magnificent. There's a little bit of salt on top of the cornbread as well to give it a little bit of saltiness, so perfect like start of the meal here, and would highly recommend this also, like even if you're getting like a salad or something and want just like a side of bread or something to go along with it. So I love it. I'm gonna keep eating it.
Everything Paul said. It's so good. It's comforting. It's also a little warm, which I really like. You don't get cornbread at a restaurant with real corn in it very often, so I really like that. So everything about that was awesome. I would eat that again. But yeah, good start.
Something I may regret saying later, but I really want people to take into consideration the fact that a lot of vlogs, or a lot of vloggers that even Amy and I have watched on Summer House so far, they were here opening day, they were here opening week. You cannot expect a restaurant to be batting 100% at that time. You would hope so because they're open and they've maybe gone through a soft opening or something. But at the same time, there's going to be kinks that they have to work out. So coming into this, like, I had very guarded expectations. Like, there were a lot of what I would call not so great reviews about Summer House, but I just said to Amy across the table, like, if we continue in the direction that we're headed on, this is very quickly going to become one of the best restaurants for me in terms of Disney Springs. So hopefully I don't eat those words later in this meal, but just the atmosphere, the overall, the staff, it's been wonderful.
So I normally, one of my favorite breakfast dishes is chilaquiles, which is like the Mexican breakfast dish. This is huevos rancheros, and this is the first time I've ever ordered it. I know it's different depending on where you go. This is not what I was expecting it to look like. This is huge. From the description, it's a quesadilla, and I was thinking, you know, small quesadilla triangles with some stuff on it. This is ginormous. So I also ordered steak on it. I wanted some kind of protein on it. I was thinking about how I had that shrimp on the chilaquiles at Nectar and Hilton Head, and there's no shrimp on this menu at all. So I asked for steak. It's not a thing they normally do, but you can add steak to a salad for a certain amount. So obviously they had no problem, you know, adding extra and charging for it. So it looks amazing. I can't wait to try it.
So for my main course, I ended up going with the short rib hash. It is $22.95, and it comes with 2 sunny side up eggs, caramelized onions, served over potatoes with the short rib on top. Amazing dish, and what I liked about it is that it's not as huge as some of the other dishes that we've seen here, like Amy's, like like Amy's huevos rancheros, which is, if the cinnamon roll is the size of her head, this is 2 times the size of her head for comparison purposes. And I came into this knowing that they've got a cookie bar and I'm gonna want a cookie as part of my dessert. So this was the perfect kind of size and portion for what I was thinking about today. Everything is very, very flavorful. The short rib is perfectly cooked, super tender, pull apart. The gravy that it's in is just absolutely amazing. The one funny thing that happened when I got it was that I went to add some pepper to it because I am a fan of just pepper or extra spice on most of my foods. So I went to add pepper to it, and they have like a pepper mill like here at the table. And so I went to turn this and nothing came out. So I shook it. There's absolutely nothing in it. I went to the next table to exchange it with an empty table next to us. And lo and behold, I don't think any of the pepper mills actually had pepper in them. So we got that fixed though. We got pepper, but it was just a kind of funny little thing to start off the meal. But love the short rib, and Amy is still devouring her meal over here as well. I think she might need a to-go box.
Everything was so good. The huevos rancheros was very flavorful. I had guacamole and cilantro and like a crema, and the egg was perfectly cooked. The quesadilla was interesting. It was like a giant, very thin quesadilla. It really reminded me of like a naan bread. But anyway, it was so good. And I would order it again. I loved it. And I really can't wait to come and try dinner here sometime. But we just got the cookie menu and I am so full, but I'm gonna get something, try it, and take the rest of it home. I'm really excited to try. The cookies are huge.
Something interesting I just asked our server, because it is something that we are starting to think about in the future, is whether or not they do private events here at Summer House. And so the room that we're actually in currently, she said normally is closed because it is kind of their private event space. We did notice earlier today that the outdoor area is also marked off for a private event space, but they do kind of reserve sections of the restaurant because of how large it is. It is, what did she say, like 500 tables or like 500 people? Really? Yeah, very, very large restaurant. So they do kind of close off portions of it. You can actually see, now that I'm looking, like you can see the doors where this room is normally closed. So if you do have a large party or a large event and want a space to maybe host something in, Summer House could be the perfect location. Like I said before, we've kind of started shopping some locations to maybe have some sort of DVC fan event and be able to meet so many of you guys that reach out to us all the time and to come here. And it would be great to just meet up with other DVC members and talk all things Disney Vacation Club. And this is like a perfect location for it. So, yeah, do that if you're interested.
Okay, I didn't have any expectations for this cookie. I'm a Gideon's cookie girl. This was just as good for me as a Gideon's cookie. It is, I did the chocolate chip sea salt. So it's got that undercooked doughiness on the inside, which is what I love about a Gideon's cookie. But this was just the perfect amount of chocolate chips. Gideon's is covered in chocolate chips, which I like, but this you get a chance to actually eat, try the cookie and the chocolate chips. The sea salt on top made it perfect. I wish I could eat the whole thing because it's hard for me to not eat the whole thing right here, but I'm full, so I'm going to take the rest home with me. So good. And you don't have to wait in a giant line. If you just want to get a cookie from here, their little cookie bar never has a line. So I would get this over Gideon's now.
I think I just dunked my camera strap in my coffee. Oh well. I went with the cookie called the Pinky, which when the server brought it over, served it to Amy because it's a giant, basically sugar cookie with a mound and a half of pink icing on top. I am an icing fiend. I love icing. Amy hates icing, so that's why we got married. We are the perfect match for that very reason, because she scrapes all the icing off of everything, and I just go ahead and eat it. So, as Amy said, I love how there's just a little bit of underdoneness about these cookies. You can also get them served warmed up. You can get them served with ice cream on top, so a lot of different options related to that. But I like it more than Gideon's. I've never really been a fan of Gideon's. So I would definitely come here again, and just the plethora of options that they have available to you. And our server even said, like, if the cookie line is long, see if you can like get a seat at the bar and just order, you know, a drink and a cookie, or a coffee and a cookie. You know, that's what this place is for. So an amazing kind of end to the meal here at Summer House. And as Amy said, we are taking a half of her cookie and a half of my cookie home because they're just so massive.
We got a new camera, the one that Panda has. It's got more of like an image stabilization. It's very nice and discreet, which I really like about it. But this is my first time touching it. So Paul had to show me how to turn it on. Something I did want to say also about the cookies. First of all, the little to-go bag, very cute. They gave us little bags to put them in, and then we put them in the bigger bag. But the cookies here are also cheaper than Gideon's. Gideon's cookies are usually around, I think, $6 a piece. They're at least that much. And my chocolate chip cookie, which was a good size, was $4.95, and Paul's was $5.40 something. So cheaper than Gideon's. Something else, when I was putting the cookies in the to-go bags, I accidentally stuck my finger in Paul's frosting, and it was much softer than I expected. It was very floofy. So I was expecting kind of like a hardened icing, and it wasn't. It was like nice and soft and fluffy. And I tried it, and it was actually really good for frosting. I'm not a frosting person, so very, very happy with Summer House and really looking forward to coming back. It was a very good experience. I forgot to mention that they also take DVC and annual pass discounts, so that is also something. Sometimes new restaurants don't take those discounts, but they do here.
Speaking of discounts, after that DVC discount, total came out to be around $101. So for kind of like a Disney brunch experience, that's fairly reasonable. You know, we each had a drink, we had an appetizer, we both had a main course, and we both had a cookie. And I think the cookie's really where you do save some money as compared to like a regular dessert. It's the size of like a massive dessert, but like normally if you were to get like a piece of cake or a pie or something like that, it's probably going to push a higher price point than, you know, a $5 cookie would. So I think those are extremely reasonable and kind of bring down the price here overall. So as Amy said, this is probably up in the top 2 or 3 restaurants for us in Disney Springs now. We are excited to come back. We have a reservation. Originally, we were going to cancel it. We have an upcoming reservation with Amy's mom that we made for dinner when she's in town. And coming today, we were like, oh, well, we will have tried it, so we don't need to go back. But we both looked at each other like halfway through the meal, and we were like, we're not going to cancel that. Nope, we're going to keep that because I think that she'll enjoy it here as well. And we'll be excited to come back and try dinner here at Summer House. just stuck our heads into Gateway to Discovery, which is the new DVC Preview Center here in Disney Springs. This is over kind of near where I think
The Welcome Center.
Welcome
It's
Center.
right across from Frontera.
Yeah, right across from Frontera. So a little bit out of the way, and that kind of explains what we walked into, because this place was dead, and it's a Saturday, and we are in the spring break season. So would maybe expect a little bit more, but also if you're not sure what you're about to walk into, I'm not sure why someone would actually walk in there.
Yeah, I think you would have to be really interested in DVC, probably for the most part, to walk in there. Otherwise, you don't know, are you walking into some kind of, hard sale situation, or which it's not. It's a very beautiful little space. It's small. If you're a member, there's not much to it. It's not like a lounge or anything like that. There is a member space coming to it on the second floor. We don't know yet exactly what that's going to look like or what that's going to be. But overall, this is primarily to preview. You can't actually look at physical rooms like at Saratoga, but there is a small model of Riviera, a small model of the layout of the insides of the Disneyland villas. I'm sure they'll have something related to Fort Wilderness.
Yeah, they had some pins and stickers for now. That was it.
Yeah, video things, all kinds of things on the wall, stuff that you could kind of interact with. So that was cute, but there's not really a whole lot of reason to spend a whole lot of time unless you're talking with one of the cast members there, which they were very nice.
Yeah.
We met both of the ones that were in there today. They were really nice to talk to. But yeah,
Yeah, probably the coolest thing for me was, so I assume what they're calling the gateway or the doorway to Discovery, which you can select several different things on the wall. I think one of them was Riviera, one was Disneyland Hotel, and then one was like alternative destinations like Disney Cruise Line or Adventures by Disney.
It was called Disney Collection, and it showed Cruise Line, National Geographic, and one other thing I can't remember.
Yeah, so just a cool little concept. And I know someone had asked us this previously, but I do kind of feel this is probably going to be very similar to what we see come to Disneyland at California Adventure. I think you're going to see a very similar concept of like a preview center like this, because as we've talked about, the product itself is getting a little bit harder to understand. And so for Disney Vacation Club to be successful, they're going to have some of these facilities where you can talk that out a little bit more. And I think that the upstairs here, even though it's going to be a member space, maybe not a member lounge, maybe a member space where it's like, hey, come sit down with a guide for a little bit and talk about adding points and get some pricing. So we'll know more about that when it opens later in the summer. But we love anything that's new that's Disney Vacation Club related. So I'm happy it's here. I hope it thrives. I hope it's successful. And
and if you want a Fort Wilderness pen, go on it. It's very breezy out here right now.
We've resorted now to just ambling around Disney Springs. We are kind of sticking our heads in various like clothes shops and stores, but we've very quickly realized that most Disney Springs stuff way out of our price range.
Right.
But we've been kind of browsing clothes because we've got a pretty big adventure coming up in mid-April. We are headed on Royal Caribbean's new Icon of the Seas. And we have had this booked for 2 years?
Oh, 2 years. Yeah. So for anyone that's like, oh my gosh, Icon is so expensive, you're going on it. We booked it 2 years ago, and it was much cheaper when we booked it. Basically, opening day when it went on sale. So
yeah, we looked not too long ago, and for the same stateroom, it was double. It was double the price. So cruising in general has gone up in price, but we are very, very much looking forward to getting on Icon, and but we need some clothes. So Disney Springs is not the place for that. I'm gonna head back to Amazon. We pointed these out previously when we were with Phil and Pauline at Magic Kingdom, but at Crystal Arts here at Disney Springs, they also have the exclusive Disney Vacation Club glasses, which you can also get customized or personalized. So kind of cool to have these available in multiple different places. I did end up getting this highball glass when we were at Magic Kingdom the last time.
I'm gonna get myself a tiara just to wear around the house. Oh look, this one's Tiana. It's pretty. I don't know why I put that on. If we did not make it to our summer house reservation, our alternate plan was going to be to go to eat. And I honestly really, really want to eat here. So part of me kind of hopes that we missed our reservation. But I'm glad we went to Summer House. Hopefully we'll get to check out Eat soon. It is supposed to be modern Indian cuisine, and the menu looks amazing.
As we stand here on a windy bridge overlooking Saratoga, I think that's going to do it for our time here at Disney Springs. It is a hotter day, so it's early March. It is pushing 90 degrees, but there is a nice breeze blowing, so it's manageable. But
Yeah.
We accomplished the things we set out to do. Check out some of the newer things going on here at Disney Springs. See the Preview Center. Have an amazing brunch at Summer House.
Yeah, it was a good day, but honestly, I don't know how much longer. I think we gotta slowly ease into the warm weather coming back. So
Yeah, we get spoiled down here during the 70-degree weather for a couple months, and then the hot just comes and blasts you all at once. So we're gonna probably head back home, head back to the dogs, and take care of them. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give a thumbs up. Subscribe to our DVC Fan YouTube channel, and also follow along the conversation over at dvcfan.com and in the DVC Fan Facebook group. We also have a lot of exclusive content these days over in our Patreon community, patreon.com/DVC Fan. So we'll see you guys soon.